some advantages or benefits that I've seen that cooperating witnesses have gotten cases where one advantage or benefit would be the government or the prosecutor say, you know what, you give us the information on this case, we won't charge you. Now you're not being charged with a crime at all. Or the government saying, well, you've already been charged. You're looking at 20 to 25 years alone. But if you help us out, now we can maybe give you probation. Now you're not looking at any jail time. Or you know what, we'll give you time considered served as long as you help us in the way that we want you to help us. And so the benefit can be astronomical to that particular cooperating witness, to the point where either they're looking at no jail time, they're looking at no charges, or they're looking at being able to be released and go home on probation or something. So the benefits are typically pretty high. And if you're dealing with a case where there's multiple witnesses or multiple people who could actually be charged and co-defendants in a case, let's say you got 2 or 3 people who technically could be charged and the government says, you know what, the first one to talk gets the best deal. Now, typically now, you're up against the clock now, who's going to talk first? Because you're going to get the best deal, whoever comes first. So those are usually the type of benefits that you see with cooperating witnesses. So the risk that whether or not you're a cooperating witness or a cooperating witness who may have his or her own legal issues, or if you're just a regular witness who might have information about a case, there are real concerns or issues that people have in terms of being a cooperating state government witness. You're in fear of your own health and safety, your own life, your family members, especially if you're dealing with a type of case where you're involving gang activity, things of that nature. But I've also seen it go both ways. And what I mean by that is, sometimes there's this whole thing in terms of don't snitch, don't come forward, don't provide helpful information to the government, things of that nature. But I've also seen it when it comes to even law enforcement. Not many law enforcement are willing to come forward to another officer who might be doing some dirty stuff, right? So it's like you want the community to have this stop snitching thing and come forward and be honest and forthcoming. But not all officers, especially if you're a particular officer who might not always do things the proper way, your fellow workers or colleagues aren't as forthcoming in calling that person out. But it's a real issue of concern that people have in terms of testifying in trials for, high-level criminal cases. When you're dealing with plea agreements or some type of, when you're dealing with a cooperating witness in a case in terms of how quick or soon does that cooperating witness get some type of favorable deal for him or herself if they cooperate on another case or with another defendant, it usually takes some time. The criminal justice system, especially when you're dealing with a high-level, serious case, sometimes it could be several months, if not years, before the case actually matriculates up to the point where there's either an offer on the table or it goes to trial. Because sometimes you're just dealing with so many evidence, so many entities. If you're dealing, for example, on a murder case, you might be dealing with the state lab. You got to get state lab results back. You might are waiting for the police to conduct interviews of different key witnesses. You might be waiting on video recording. You might be waiting for things from different agencies. And so by the time you get everything you need to see whether or not the government even needs this cooperating witness, several months have likely gone by. So in my experience, it's not a quick process at all.